Hello, 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 and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication, and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the cheap seats in the back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, grab a seat, get settled. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life. A movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition a whole food, plant based lifestyle. Welcome once again. Come on in and get settled. The title of my talk tonight, and it is a good one, folks, From Hollywood to Your Habits, the hidden health message in sinners. From Hollywood to Your Habits, the hidden health message in sinners. Now, if you have not seen Sinners, it is a great film. Okay, well, I'm having a number of technical difficulties this evening, people, so bear with me. If you have not seen Sinners, it is a great film. But let me just start off by saying I had a problem with it. Everybody said it was so wonderful. Everybody's been jumping up and down about it. I've seen them on talk shows and panels, and everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it's so great. I personally have a problem with it. And this is my problem with it. I wasn't in it, right? So yes, I would have loved to have directed that film. I would have loved to have been in the film. I would have loved to been playing the harmonica, the guitar, the spoons, whatever they got. That would have been great for me, right? That's my problem with the movie. I was not in it. I was not cast in it. I was not asked to direct it. I was not asked for an opinion on it. So that is my problem with the film. But moving on, and I digress. On a more serious note, I did see a number of things that popped up in the film that to me spoke to me about some of the things I talk about every week. When I talk about health and I talk about Black men, and I talk about Black men who are 40 to 60, and I talk about using plants and community and eliminating stress to live a long, fruitful life and make our health a what? An asset. A what? An asset and not a liability. I saw a lot of that through the film. There's a whole bunch of other things in the film, but I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I also want to pinpoint and highlight the things that to me spoke to me about the same thing that I've been talking about on these lives for at this point 71, 72 weeks. So here we go. Okay, so here's a hidden health message. Now I in the title I say I have one, but I saw multiple messages. I'm going to give you a couple of them. And I say I'm going to give you three or four. Okay, so here's the first message I saw. The first message that I picked up was that nobody is coming to save you, right? So in the movie, I will not give away too much of it. In the movie, let's just say that, in the early 1900s, the black folks were in the juke joint, blowing off some steam, having worked in the fields all day, having worked and, been oppressed and been mistreated, all day, every day. They had to have a little, I don't know, a way to blow off some steam, right? A way to have some relief, a way to have a moment or two of joy in a very joyless situation. So they're having this, gathering. Everybody's drinking. I think the beer is a nickel or something like that. Everybody's drinking, having a great time. Then, of course, some interlopers decide they want to muscle in and come in, right? They stop them at the door, stop them at the gates. Nope, you're not coming in here. We don't know you. You're not from around here. It might be a problem, and it would have been a problem when you see the movie. It would have been a problem for a number of reasons. However, the bigger issue was that they decided these folks weren't going to come in. There was something that was off about them. There's something that wasn't quite right, and they were correct. You find out later, a little later on, that yeah, these people are very destructive. They're very violent. I won't give away the movie, but they're very violent. They're very destructive. They were only trying to enter the premises to wreak some more destruction, some more havoc, right? These people were not having it. Michael B. Jordan, Little Wallace from The Wire, yes, he's all grown up and a grown ass man now. He nor his twin brother were not having it, right? When they find out, they discover that these people are not only like otherworldly and coming to cause havoc, but they've got to figure out how to survive because nobody's coming to help them, right? They have to help themselves. So the first big thing that I noticed was that okay, these people have to figure out how they're going to stay alive, how they're going to help themselves, right? That moves me on to the second point. One of the things that once they realized nobody was coming, and the people who could save them were doing whatever they were doing, and they figured, okay, we got to do this ourselves. There was a second point that I saw. You have to save yourself. These people had to save themselves. You will hear me say that all the time in my talks. I've said it for weeks, right? We have the capacity, we as Black folks, we as Black men 40 to 60, have the capacity to save ourselves. I have done it. I want to support other people in doing it, other Black men 40 to 60 in doing it, which is why I come on here and talk about this every week. Back to the movie, right? Back to our regularly scheduled programs. Yes. So, the folks in the town, the Black folks in the town who were blowing off some steam at the juke joint, realized that not only was nobody coming to save them, but they would have to save themselves. They would have to dig deep. They'd have to come up with their own resources. They would have to pool resources, pool brain think, mind meld with one another, so to speak, to figure out what do you know about this situation? What can you bring to help us? How can you save our lives? So it's all these different people putting something in the pot to save, for the greater good, to save the community. Speaking of community, right? This is something else I saw in this movie over and over and over and over again. Community, community, community. I talk about community so much on this podcast. I talk about it every week on my Facebook Live. I talk about it constantly with people. I personally believe community is everything. Community can save your life. Community can show you how to do things better. Community can show you how to do things differently. Community can show you, well, hey, this is how I did it. Borrow my knowledge and turn your life around, so to speak. Community, community, community. And the film, once again, going back to the film, this film had major, major, major community, right? When you first see it, these people are coming back. They've been away for a while. It took place in Mississippi, and they had been in Chicago for a spell. For a spell. They had been in Chicago, yes, for a spell. I'm still wrapped up in the film. They had been in Chicago for a spell, and they came back, and people were greeting them. Different people, depending on what people's opinions and what their interaction was with them in the community, that determined how people welcomed them or kind of like looked at them like, oh, trouble's back, that type of thing. But nevertheless, the point is they came back and they went right back into the community, right? They went right back into the communities to say, here's what we can offer, here's what we want to do, here's what we want to see happen. So it was community, community, community. I personally believe that's what saved a lot of their lives. But I want to give it away. I'm trying really hard not to give away spoilers because I want everybody to see it. Incidentally, this film is almost up to $300 million. So go Ryan Coogler and go Wallace, Michael B. Jordan. Okay, go, 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 go. Keep going. Maybe it'll surpass Black Panther. Who knows? But Community was, to me, the linchpin, the thing that like tipped everything. Let me know that they were going to be okay because they had one another. Now, how does that play out into what I'm doing and what I try to promote? Not say try, what I promote on the weekly on this show. Community is everything. Folks, you're only going to get healed in community. You do not get healed. You do not get better. You do not thrive. I didn't say survive. You do not thrive by yourself on an island, like with nobody. That's not how it works. So you absolutely positively need community to thrive, do well, and improve in your life. Here's something else that was a little disturbing, or I should say a lot disturbing in the film. And here's my fourth thing that I know, my fourth hidden message that I saw. Everybody's not going to make it. And that is tough. That is a bitter pill to swallow, as they say. There are going to be some casualties, right? There are going to be some people who, for whatever the reason, do not reach out to community. For whatever the reason, do not realize they can save themselves. For whatever the reason, do not realize nobody's coming to save you. I don't give a crap how many prescriptions they give you. I don't give a crap how many white coats tell you this is the way it's supposed to be. I don't give a crap how many people in your community, once again back to community, in your community say it's natural to be unhealthy and to be sickly. I don't care how many people do that. Some people aren't going to make it, right? There are going to be some casualties. Let me quickly say we're all going to check out. So it's not as if you have an insider scoop on living forever, right? If you decide to go the whole food plant based route like I have. However, when I say casualties, I mean people checking out earlier or earlier than they could because they didn't take care of their health, right? Because they didn't, eat their vegetables and make their health a priority, which means they can make it an asset and not a liability. There is a cost for that. There will be some casualties. I cannot tell you, I'm going to be very vulnerable here. I cannot tell you, in the last, I would say the last couple of years, I've lost a number of family members. A couple of people in my family have been the same age as me. We were the same age when they passed. I am only 57. So I've had family members, close friends check out who were 54 and 55. Folks, there are going to be some casualties, and there doesn't need to be. There's a different way to do this. There's a different way of being. There's a different way to handle this, right? So keep that in mind that there is a different way to do this. Now, I started off this talk talking about my upset because I was not in the film, right? Once again, let me sew all this up for you with a nice big pretty bow. The things that I mentioned, the hidden messages, they cut across the board. It's not just health, it's with life in general. I was watching the movie and I was in the theater and was very thrilled. And I thought, wow, these folks are working and they're making art and they look like me, right? And the only reason I'm not in that, the only reason I'm not doing or acting like I used to is because I've decided I don't want to do it, right? I've decided for a number of reasons, outside forces. There were reasons that I felt I couldn't continue. There were reasons that I felt, well, there's really no place for me, right? That's a bunch of baloney. When we talk about nobody's coming, you have to save yourself. Had I stuck with it, who knows what would have happened? I'm tempted to try it again and see what happens. I'm tempted to try it again and see what it doesn't matter that, I'm almost 60. It doesn't matter that I'm black. It doesn't matter that I'm gay. It doesn't matter that I'm married. None of that matters, right? There are plenty of folks working nowadays who can check all those same boxes. So that's no longer an excuse. So once again, I have to look at me and say, okay, well, if nobody's coming and I have to save myself and I need the community to do it, what am I going to do that's going to be different artistically? What am I going to do health wise? Let me wrap it up for you this way. You can join me. I recommend that you join me or you join a group, some type of group of black men who've decided they're going to do it differently. A group of black men who've decided, like the people in the movie, A, nobody's coming, so we got to do this. B, we can save ourselves. We don't need anybody to come and save us. We can do it. Three, we're going to latch on to one another and build our own community of healthy brothers and getting together and making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. And four, we're going to realize the reality is there are going to be some casualties. There are going to be some people who decide they're going to do it their way. In the movie, this happened too. There were some people who, regardless of what the community said about staying together and staying safe, decided they were going to go out in the wilderness on their own, right? They were going to take a chance. They were going to do it that way. Ended up a casualty. Don't let you be the casualty. Don't be the casualty. Okay. Now, incidentally, I have a great surprise for you this week before I wrap up. I have launched a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is in the box above me. I finally figured out where it is. It is above me. The YouTube channel is called Plant Powered Brothers. So if you like to binge, all of the talks that I've been doing on Facebook Live will eventually migrate over to that direction. They will eventually migrate over to YouTube. Right now, I have 10 or 11 on there. I'm eventually going to get all 70 on there, so just keep checking back. If you want to binge, if 15, 20 minutes of me every week is not enough, by all means, go to my YouTube channel and get your fill. You can binge the same way you would binge on Netflix or whatever it is that you're watching. Okay, so check that out. Let me know. Leave a comment if you know anybody who is interested in joining the fold, joining the movement. Please, please, please send them my way. I'm going to wrap up here with my usual. Okay, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, be good to yourself, let your loved ones take care of you, get some plants on that plate, and most importantly, eat like you got some sense. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the cheap seats in the back and the folks who are going to go see Sinners this week. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food, plant based lifestyle. Take care of yourself.